At the first sign of snow, we decided to leave home, October the 21st, 2024. We stopped in Vulcan, Alberta for lunch. An hour after we left home, our solar panel blew off the roof, but we were lucky enough to find an RV dealer in Lethbridge who could replace it and put a new one on. And then we stopped for the night in Milk River, Alberta, before crossing the next day into Montana through Coots Crossing. We were called over for a random agricultural inspection, but no restricted items were found. Our first stop in the United States was in Great Falls, Montana, where we visited the Lewis and Clark Museum. We stayed overnight at the Cracker Barrel in Billings, Montana, and then carried on to the Little Bighorn Battlegrounds, which was Custer's last stand. Carrying on into Wyoming, we were able to stay at a Harvest Host, which was actually the town of Rolling Hills. In the morning, when we pulled the blinds up, we were greeted by these two mule deer. We stopped in Douglas, Wyoming to see the world-famous jackalope. Visited Focus on the Family in Colorado Springs and even got to go to Narnia.
I see that now. I hadn't known what humans were like before I met you. Of course I can't give you up to the witch. Not now that I know you. But you must be off at once. Well, let's see you back to the lamppost. I suppose you can find your own way from there back to...
In Manitou Springs, we camped for 3 nights and we took the cog rail to the top of Pikes Peak. It was very cold, 15 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 10 degrees Celsius, and very windy. These cliff dwellings in Manitou Springs were moved here in 1907 from Mesa Verde. They were moved to protect them from looters. This is the second time we got to park with our back door onto a stream. Went for an early morning walk and I spooked a bear across the street, and it went up the side of the hill, and watched it for quite a while. I thought this rock looked like praying hands, and this rock they call the kissing camels. All the rock formations in the Garden of the Gods were red except for this one. After leaving Manitou Springs, we drove an hour down the road to Cannon City and stayed at this beautiful Holy Cross Abbey, which was a harvest host. The whole reason to come to Cannon City was to go to the Royal Gorge and experience it from top to bottom. We walked across the suspension bridge, we zip-lined back, we took the gondola, and then eventually we went down and took the train ride through the canyon in the bottom. This guy, I think he got stuck on the zip line. The suspension bridge here at the Royal Gorge is the highest suspension bridge in America at 956 feet above the canyon floor, while the zip line is 2,350 feet long. Now we get to take the train ride along the river at the bottom of the gorge.
Busca nela atrás. Está todo para el bote.
See it on the way back. See it on the way back.
This is
We are passing under the zip line and gondola cables. Needed to stop for gas and propane before we headed on. We cut through a corner of New Mexico before we got to Amarillo, Texas. The Big Texan Steakhouse is famous for its 72-ounce steak, and if you eat it in an hour, it's free. Now, mind you, this is not the free one. We were able to experience a part of Route 66. After 9 days on the road, it's finally time to do some laundry. Well, at least one of us is doing laundry. The other one is sitting in a spa getting a pedicure. Tonight we are parked on the rim of the Palo Duro Canyon, next to Canyon City. Palo Duro Canyon is the second largest canyon in the United States, second behind the Grand Canyon. You can actually drive all the way down into the bottom of the canyon, and there are several camping spots and hiking trails to enjoy. At every creek crossing in the bottom of the canyon, there's a flood gauge. The next night, we arrived in Sweetwater, Texas at the Wasp Museum. Sharon trying her hand at a flight simulator. Let's see how she'll do.
Parking brake engaged. Parking brake I1. Hold on. Am I at 70? No. Just go up, go up, go up, go up. Go up. Yeah. I'm Come on, go up, go up, go up. Fly, fly.
Spent the night in Fredericksburg, Texas, and we had 11 deer come grazing past the van in the morning. We stopped for lunch at this 190-foot tall cross. Join us in part 2 for some interesting sights, smells, and maybe even some snow.